Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about the cars and trucks and SUVs and ponds. Look at that pond. Why? I grilled out yesterday evening. That was just beautiful. Sitting in the back deck. Big nice sun, nice and warm. It's cold up here still. Oh, hey, good morning. Everybody here watch my channel. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to my morning conversations, the big YouTube channel with all the tons of hits that watch my channel. For the crowd that comes to listen to me, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, is it just a time of you and I feeling like we're stuck? Do you feel like you're stuck right now in life? Spurring this conversation, right? I can tell you one thing. I've gotten stuck on my property many times on my zero-turn lawnmower. My wife's gotten stuck in the driveway in her brand new Volkswagen 2003 Volkswagen Touareg with summer performance tires on it, where she couldn't drive up that driveway in an inch snow. That's factual. You buy a German-built Volkswagen Touareg, they put summer performance tires on it, and unbeknownst to me at that time in my life, I had no clue that when it snows out, the car won't move. It was classic. My wife calls me and says, "Hey, honey, I can't get out of the driveway." And I'm like, "What?" I've told this story before. Are you kidding me? So yeah, being stuck. Are we in the state of times of being stuck? I think we are. Really do. So the birds, look at this. So all the birds, they're stuck. They come into my barn, and what do? They lay eggs only to kill off their own. Way up there, what a disaster. And then my truck gets trashed. Yeah, living in the nature. So I start shooting the birds. Yeah, then I won't be liked as much, right? Yeah, I'm not doing that. Because you start shooting birds, what happens if you miss the bird? It goes through the side of it goes through the roof of your barn, right? I mean, you got to think this stuff through. Come on, Pops. Where's Scotty? Come on, Scotty. Where are you? Scout. Oh, this ain't good. Missing one. He was up to something. Scout. Here he comes. Look, everything's just collecting dust. I haven't driven these cars. It's just, is it worth it? I know I'm crazy. For me, it's just like sell the damn things. You never drive them. Just go ahead and cash out of them. If I had any brains, that's what I should do. Yeah, but I'm stuck in my ways. In my ways, gotta have all my toys, but for why? For what? You don't use them most of the time. I get all that. Waste of money. What's going on here, pups? You know, it's kind of warm, but it's not. I think I'm gonna turn the heater on here. I don't know what my dog is doing. What's going on with my phone? I don't know. Who knows? Get over here. Get my coffee. Yeah. So anyways, get the phone set down. Have barely drank any coffee yet. And it's the morning routine that people tune in to watch. And that's cool. So I get the heat on. Yeah, it's cold up here. I mean, it's not like really, really cold, but it's something cool. So I took my MacBook to the Apple store yesterday. Somebody forgot to mention yesterday in my conversations was Apple. Apple showed 40% less sales. Oh, I can't do this. This is just too much information. Trying to talk and rub your belly and chew gum at the same time. So yeah, Apple 40% down in PC sales. Not their cell phone, but the computers. Wow. I mean, come on. Wow. I mean, talk about the whole microchip computer side industry, non-car related industry. Those guys are stuck. They have so many computer chips right now. I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but Samsung, they're getting killed. These LG products, all these big manufacturers that are building these technology today, they're dead in the water. People aren't buying the stuff. And what's incredible is my MacBook Pro, it's 3 years old. And the battery doesn't charge correctly, so it draws down, and one of the ports doesn't work correctly. So finally, I broke down, and I went to the Apple store yesterday to have them evaluate it. And wow, I haven't been to an Apple store in ages. Now, when I used to go to the Apple store, you would be in line. You'd be lucky to even get in the damn store. It's ridiculous. Well, okay, I was at the Apple store yesterday, and it's like, where is everybody? I mean, I'm not lying to you. Where is everybody? I mean, employees standing around, not many people around, and then the gentleman that worked in my unit, he kind of diagnosed it right, but not so much. So I actually helped him kind of figure it out. So then he came to understand that the ports on this are showing malfunctioning, and the battery definitely needs to be replaced. But he said, hey, look, you're going to be in this computer to close to $1,000. He's like, I wouldn't do it. I just want to buy a new one. I'm like, all right. So the computer works. But anyways, the whole point is I went to the CEO. I went to the Apple computer store, and I was just taken back on how slow it was. And keep in mind, it was Monday morning. So, but at the same time, here's the thing. The reports are showing that Apple's sales of PCs are off by 40%. Shipments are off by 40%. And the whole industry is down 20%, 15%, 20%, 30%. Wow. Yeah, so I was thinking to myself this morning, I just came up. Here's the thing. Just like to talk and share my morning views to get the day going. And I thought to myself, stuck. More than ever. Are we stuck more than ever? I mean, that's such a broad term, but where we are today, I have to honestly say, yeah, we are stuck. And one thing that's really interesting here for me, being I've lived on the Washington, D.C., Baltimore Beltway since 1985, behind the wheel of a car, trucks, tanker, fuel trucks, all that stuff. And yeah, how many days was I stuck in traffic? I mean, just dreadful. Even to the point that the traffic in this area pre-recession 2008-9, this area was getting so bad. I mean, so bad with congestion and traffic. I tried to get out of my industry. I tried to move on and go do something else and just get the hell off the roads, because the roads were just brutal. It was maddening. You had a window of about 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock to get out and get around without being in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And if you think I'm embellishing this, I'm not. It got bad. And the recession came in. It changed a lot of things. The recession definitely, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people left this area. And so then you go from 2011-12, sure enough, things started picking back up. And you go to pre-pandemic, and oh my gosh, this area got right back. Radical. I'm talking, if you live in West Virginia and you commute to D.C., 2 hours one way, because you're going to be 45 minutes just to get into the Virginia area. But once you hit the Virginia area, you're going to be at least an hour plus of bumper-to-bumper traffic to go like 20 miles, 30 miles. So just bad, stuck. I mean, it's just dreadful. I mean, you just resentful. And now it isn't the same because of the pandemic. The pandemic thinned out so many people driving to work in this DC metro area. It's incredible. It's incredible how this area has to be at least 30% of the people, at least, no longer drive to work. I would say 35%. Maybe even 40%, because it isn't just government employees that don't drive to work anymore. It's a lot of the defense contractors and the Capital One and Microsoft and Amazon. And you can go through the list of the Silicon Valley of the East. Yeah, this area is the Silicon Valley of the East. Everybody from the West has moved here. And so the traffic around here, the traffic definitely is here more so, since we're kind of coming to the end of the pandemic, being that the guy in the suit just signed off ending the emergency pandemic orders to end anything that I guess has associated with being protected by the pandemic hardships. But, so being stuck in traffic here, it's not as bad as it was. But you still get stuck in traffic, but nothing like it used to be, which in so many ways is it's a blessing for me because I live on the road. But in other ways, it's not, because it's impacted so many businesses. It has impacted huge. For me, I'm in the gas station business industry, and the numbers we saw last year was a solid 33% reduction in traffic flow to gas stations in this area. Yeah, I mean that's numbers. That's numbers. Just me being a small company, and I have data information. Or just this Washington D.C. metro area, it was a good 30% less foot traffic into gas stations. I mean that's a fact. And hello, people are sitting at home, so people are stuck at home. I mean, who doesn't remember being stuck at home when the pandemic came in? You were stuck where you weren't allowed to go places. Yeah, does anyone remember that? I mean, if you didn't have an essential business, you weren't allowed to travel from state to state. Does anyone remember those conversations? Wow. Yeah, we were always stuck in our house. But now, here's the challenge. There's a lot of big businesses that are stuck. And before we get into those businesses, I got to kind of turn my heater a little different way here, because it's kind of getting me on a little too warm here. But now, just talking about the automotive industry, what kind of spurred this conversation, all reality, wasn't those things I just talked about. But what spurred my conversation that I thought about this morning was that the ice age is stuck. We are stuck like never, ever before. It's over. For the ice age, it's over. On Wednesday in Michigan, the EPA head guy is going to announce a whole new guidelines up for comment of the 2032 zero emissions goals for this country by 2032 to be majority zero emission tailpipe. And I think it's so funny. How do you have a tailpipe in an electric car? So zero emissions. So they're even now ratcheting it up another, it's like another ratchet, another, pulling it in to just totally get rid of the ice age. Be unbelievable. I mean, just total focus that within the next 10 years, this 2035 is the real goal. The 2035 is a constant number you hear, but now it's 2032 that a majority of the vehicles that are sold new have to be zero tailpipe emissions. So for the ice age, I thought, wow, we're stuck. We're stuck. We ain't going nowhere. Meaning we ain't going to advance. The ice age technology has advanced, but we're stuck in so many ways of proving that we can be as good as the EV age. I mean, there's arguments on that. I know that. There's synthetic fuels. There's a lot of variables to that. But here's the reality. Ford, GM, they're all out on going full electric. GM is investing $35 billion in their EV infrastructure for by 2030, they're all electric. Now, when they say that, I think to myself, so they're saying even the big trucks, their heavy-duty series trucks, 2,500, 3,500. I mean, I don't know. But for the car platform, and no doubt their SUV and their half-ton platform, they're saying that by 2030, which is it's not even 7 years away, because when they're selling a 2030 car, it would be a 2029 model year typically. So you're talking maybe 6 years out. General Motors will no longer sell an ICE vehicle. So for us ICE age people, we're stuck. We have nobody fighting for us. Nobody's fighting for us because the big wigs are all catering to the EV age. I know some people would be like, why the hell do you always talk about this damn EV age? I mean, it's so funny. My daughter yesterday had her English class. Each person had to write a story, and then they had to get up in front of the class and read their story of what intrigues them or influences them or what they would like to talk about. And the teacher adamantly told all the students prior to you writing your essay that I don't want to hear about electric vehicle age. I don't want to hear about technology age. I don't want to hear about AI. I don't want to hear about, so teacher, the lady teacher, she's telling the class, I've heard this a gazillion times about electric vehicles. I don't want to hear it again. Well, my daughter, so cool. My daughter and I ride motorcycles. And last year, I took her to Maggie Valley, Wheels Through Time, down there in North Carolina. And it's right down there near Asheville, North Carolina. And we went to that museum, and I showed my daughter the part of the museum where it's dedicated to the women who ride motorcycles. That back in the early 1900s, women rode motorcycles. And to the point that in World War II, women were, or she said World War II, I guess it was World War II, World War I, the women were messengers on motorcycles. Yeah, the women rode motorcycles to give messages to the troops on the ground out on the battlefield. So she did a whole story about women being motorcycle riders and how brave they were back in the war to be like the pigeons on motorcycles. If you know that, if you get that comment, pigeons used to send messages to the battlefield back from the command station. Well, women were doing that back in the war. And so she did a whole, and I did a video of her talking about that. So there's a whole video of her talking about, you can watch it if you want to look it up on my channel. And she goes into, information, all that. And so anyways, going back to, the EV age, and that's what I'm saying to you. The teacher was saying, I don't want to hear another damn thing on electric vehicle. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Us Ice Age people, we're stuck. People don't want to hear us Ice Age people gripe and bitch about the EV age. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. It's like, I'm sick of it. Who cares? Who cares? Just build the damn EV vehicles, and you Ice Age people just shut the hell up and quit crying. I mean, that's where we are today more than ever. We're in a society where we're stuck when you have an opposing view from what works to somebody else's view that wants to change everything. You're borderline like, just shut the hell up. I mean, does anybody feel that way? I mean, I feel that way. I feel like more than like ever that the ideology, the propaganda machine at the highest level ever in society, in colleges. I mean, here's the thing. There's they're saying now that the IQ score in our country is going down. But it isn't meaning that people are getting stupider. It just means people are processing information differently. And what they're saying is the logic of reading and figuring things out on your own isn't really so much the teachings as much as it is more of the ideology propaganda in schools today. So the kids today go to school each day, and more than ever, we hear stories, the professors teaching ideology more than logic and reason. And so they're talking about how it's changed how people score on the 100 basis IQ score, and how it's actually gone down. It's like the Flynn score or something like that. I can't think of it off the tip of my tongue. And so they're saying that today's younger generation, the way they process information is totally different from how I was taught to learn logic and reason. And so it's a different way, and they're not saying that the younger generation is stupid. They're just saying that they have a little bit more of a challenge of the logic and reason. And you and I know that anybody's my age can look around, and I say this all the time, how you came to closure on what you feel is right or wrong, how you process that information, it doesn't make any sense to me. And we're seeing this more than ever in our lifetime, that we're seeing people that come to closure what seems to be right versus wrong, and you're just like, this is just unbelievable. And so there you go. It's the way that the younger generation is being taught through the teacher. Do the teachers and the professors think that they're the prophets of the world, borderline the Messiah? I mean, sincerely, you really have to start saying to yourself that we're in an age of people that truly are just wow. I mean, wow. So for us Ice Age people, we're stuck because we have these challenges of what I just talked about, and what people just can't connect the two to make sense. I mean, so think this through here. Here is the latest. Here we are in the EPA guidelines being ratcheted up a whole other new level to even put it, the screws to the max to these manufacturers to get these cars to zero emissions. And here's just crazy. And here the guy in the suit just passed a $8 billion National Petroleum Reserve bill. This is factual, with ConocoPhillips, that is flying in as I speak all the equipment and all the workers to 250 miles north of the Arctic Circle to start drilling oil, which has never ever been touched. And all the environmentalists are going nuts that the guy in a suit in D.C. that released all. I mean, first of all, the National Petroleum Reserve Act. So to me, that seems to me that for all the oil reserves that we released to offset the market, to tame down the fuel prices, and now our backup reserve of oil is at its lowest level in modern times. Now the sitting guy in a suit wants to go drill oil in the natural, beautiful, don't touch this area, Mother Earth, to replenish the National Reserve of Petroleum for our country. You can't make this stuff up of logic. So to appease all the people crying about the fuel prices, even though they didn't even need to release the frickin' reserves of oil, because the world economy isn't doing that great. The market was going to adjust on its own. So for whatever reason, to open the spigot up to do that, but now in turn to spend all this money and now go so-called do harm to Mother Earth and the Arctic Circle north of Alaska. Wow. And meanwhile, the EPA guy is going to be here Wednesday in Michigan telling everybody that you better be careful, don't fart, because no zero emissions out of your freaking tailpipe. Yeah, you're going to be the next one that's going to be a battery. I mean, oh my gosh. And get this, the Nomads? Is that what this is? I don't even know. I ran across this article last night. Well, actually, early this morning. The Nomads, or the people that live in RV, or live in school buses, or their vans. This is a growing trend. Does anybody know about this? I didn't even know there was, like, the groupies, the school bus groupies. But apparently there's a film, The No Man Land or something like that. I mean, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. But people are living in cars and RVs and school buses and vans to appease the green agenda. That these people are so heck bent that they don't want to live in a big house because of the carbon footprint. The green. So these are green energy people. They're living in vans with solar panels on top of their van. And they're living out anywhere they can find a place to park and hang out with the other green van junkies, I guess. And these people just live a life of, borderline, like living out in the wild, wild west. And instead of having a horse and a carriage behind you, they're living in a van. And they live a very modest lifestyle where they barely use any water. They use a spray bottle to brush their teeth. They sponge bath themselves. I can't even imagine walking one of those vans. Like, when's the last time you guys took an actual bath and shower? You know what I mean? And when's the last time you laundered your clothes? I mean, these are people that are heck bent on they're going to help save the world on the carbon footprint of what we do to Mother Nature. So it's a growing trend, apparently. Yeah, wow. Are these people stuck? These are people stuck in their ways. Getting pretty hot up here. Gotta turn this thing off because it's getting too hot now. So these are people stuck in their ways. I mean, and that's what we're dealing with. We now have people stuck in their ways. I'd have to say, like, never seen in modern times, of such the ideology, views are going around of the different, what you can be and can't be, he, him, she, it, the green agenda, and the car. I mean, why? I just once again, why at 2035 is this world have to be at zero? Zero. I mean, I just don't. I just doesn't. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Of that, what's going on? I mean, why is the world going to come crumbling to an end if we don't get to these strict guidelines as fast as possible? Yeah, I'm watching the news here, and there's Tiger Woods, and that just makes me one of his 97 Masters golf ball sells for $64,000. Wow. Who's going to have that thing sitting in their little glass case with a cigar in their mouth and their whiskey in their hand, bragging about the golf ball from Tiger Woods, right? And so many years ago, I remember Tiger Woods was just being made fun of because of all the trouble he got himself into. Yes, I remember that. Hey, just talking about stuck. Look at Lamar Jackson. What's it happening to Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens? Nobody's picking the guy up, or has something changed? Yeah, talk about being stuck. Here's an athlete that wants to go out and get paid the big deal, and nobody's biting. Wow. Yeah, talk about stuck. I mean, here's some interesting information. FedEx, the guy, what's the guy's name? Smith. He no longer runs the company. Some new guy from India or wherever, India descent, now is running the company. And apparently, they're going to get rid of all the truck drivers. Yeah, apparently FedEx is revamping their whole business model. 50 years of success is being wiped off the table. And they're going to literally eliminate all the truckers' jobs and positions. With the exception of maybe just certain carriers or something, but basically what they're doing, they're going to go to independent contractors. Wonder why they're doing that. Does anybody figure that out? I mean, so here's the thing. As an employer, if you can get people to work for you as an independent contractor, you know how huge that is on savings to you as a business owner? You don't have any payroll taxes. You don't have any health care insurance. You don't have to have workers' comp. You don't have to have paid vacation. Hello. Yeah, FedEx is telling everybody, hey, dudes, hey, no unions. Screw you guys. It's getting way too competitive of the freight infrastructure of the world. The dynamics have changed radically on how things can be transported and just so many variables. The robot trucks are coming. The list goes on and on and on. So they're literally at the crossroads where this is happening. They're going to eliminate all these guys' jobs. Huge loss of jobs. And then they're looking at the guy that's been working there and go, okay, go buy your own truck. Go get your own insurance. Go get your own health care. Blah, blah, blah. And we're going to pay you X amount of dollars for the day or pay you by the, and the guys would be like, dude, I'm going to be working on, eating rice. And I'm going to be living on those vans with the nomads out there in the middle of the desert trying to survive. Yeah, that's where that's all going. Wow. If you really start reading the Economic Times, I mean, we are stuck. I mean, if you really start, I mean, is anybody stuck right now? Anybody that has a big portfolio in stock market, is it stuck now for like the last 2 years, coming up 2 years, where it's not really performing? It's kind of up, down. I mean, can anybody testify to that right now? Somebody stuck in their house right now because they sell it. Their 2.75 mortgage they have will now be 6.75. And who's wants to buy our house for what you paid for it or what you think it's worth now because it's tougher to get that payment down the higher interest rate. Are those people stuck? Are the people that bought all these used cars that overpaid them, are they stuck? The car dealers, are they stuck with the challenge that they still can't get a lot of new car inventory? And people that want to trade in their used cars don't have the values. Are they stuck? Yeah, I'd have to say they're stuck. I mean, you just start going through the list of where this country is right now. And then the office, I've talked about it before, the office building industry, it's the commercial real estate industry is getting ready to take a total collapse because these landlords are stuck. They don't have any tenants and their properties are overvalued. But people just don't understand that when you have these massive properties with tenants in them, that's massive tax money collected by the local jurisdictions because it's based on tenants. It's based on how many people are in that building. So I've talked about this before. There's an outlet mall up here where I live where there's 100 stores at outlet mall. That property tax, if you go back, I know for a fact that property tax 15 years ago was $1.2 million a year. That's $100,000 a month. That was 15 years ago. I guarantee that property tax today is $1.8 million to $2 million because the property values all went up. Okay, so what people don't understand about these commercial buildings have tenants that are vacant. The commercial real estate, the jurisdictions basing the number of occupancies that can be put in that building on the value of that property on tax liability. So all these landlords, they have millions of dollars a year in tax liabilities with no tenants in the buildings. So if these landlords go bust, who's paying the real estate taxes? Where's the jurisdiction collecting the tax revenues? And it's incredible how these cities and states continue to want to ramp up and just add more agendas and more programs. But at the end of the day, the tax base is dwindling. Hello. Wow. Yeah, we're stuck. We're stuck with people that don't understand logic and reason. We're stuck with leaders that are selling out to the money bags. We're stuck with ideology that's progressing just incredible weird things. And what's unfortunate is we're stuck with so many that think religion isn't good. It's supposedly how the Bible is the history of mankind. It's a biblical story. It's a religious story of mankind. I mean, just for you, if you're the atheist, if you don't believe that Christ was the Savior, then fine. But just read the Bible because you're going to read story after story of mankind's and how he acts, and it's no different. It's no different than it was then as today. It's the exact same thing that mankind does to one another. And it blows me away that people, they don't, oh, God, I'm not going to go to church. That's a cult. These people, they're sick people. They're convinced this. That's like, no, if you go to church, you're going to hear a story. You're going to hear a story that relates with you to your own life. You're going to listen to stories of history of mankind, of what they do unto each other, and you'll be able to relate with these stories and how maybe you don't follow that same path. And that's a huge problem in today's society is that they don't want to listen to history. Does anybody remember all the 2020 summer of everybody wanting to tear down the statues and eliminate history of this country? It's like, wow, don't you want to be around somebody that has experience and has been down that road and maybe help you not to do the same thing they did? Isn't that what life's all about? Isn't that where the leaders are separate themselves from the followers? As leaders have experienced things that can help the followers understand how they can become leaders as well. But in today's society, we have the propaganda machine at the maxes of ever because of this technology where you can tune into anything, watch anything, good or bad. And the way people comprehend information now and the way people are being brainwashed, yeah, Huh. Yeah, I wonder why we have such challenges, right? Yeah. Anyways, hey everybody, thanks for watching my channel, and hope everybody has a great day. It's a beautiful time of year. It really is. This is such a nice time of year here. The spring's here. The days are getting warmer. You can do so many more things longer through the day. And what am I up to today? Just taking care of the business. And when do I ride my motorcycles again? And when do I travel again? And wow. Yeah, how things change. Things can change very quickly in your life, and we all know that. But make the best of it. Stay strong. Stay positive. Right? I mean, this is not what I talk about. Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill, who studied individuals for many years and came to closure of what he saw in the attributes of what he felt made a really good, sound, brown person. If you want to know what that is, go to my Think and Grow Rich video. It's on my front of my YouTube channel. And watch that and listen to that and pray for a miracle. And read the Bible. You might learn something. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. God bless. Stay tuned and stay safe.